Okie dokie. Right, wiring upgrade, 12 volt upgrade from 6. Change of plan already. I did have that fitted on the airbox, but it would have meant that the live from the battery would have to go into one of these, and then I'd have to make jumpers for all of these, just to have a load of loops to have the live feed for the through the fuses out the other side. So I've got this instead. That's a fused live to the ignition switch, a slightly heavier cable, and then I've got an ignition live that's going to come back to there to make this live, so I can just have my lives coming off. That's going to be for the brake light switches. I've got a heavier earth to the frame. The battery's got a heavier earth to the frame under there. I've just rewired, or wired, because it didn't have any wires on it, the 12 volt reg, put some heat shrink on it. That was a bit of a pain, in as much as it should be a red wire, this blue, but I already had it lying about, and it had that on the end. It's going to go to the battery, so I had to put the blue wire in that way, the other 3 wires in that way, put the heat shrink on this sleeving first in the middle, feed them all through, and then heat shrink it all on in the right place, because once the terminals are on at either end, you won't get it through the heat shrink. You might do, but you might bugger it up as well. It's this sort of it frays quite easily, so you've got to be careful with it. Put it over there. It's very flexible and it expands quite a lot. So that's the fuse box. I've already rewired the ignition switch with that same heat shrink, and I've rewired all the clock lights. I've done away with, where are you going? I've done away with the gear indicator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a load of wires I've got rid of. All of these 3 are LEDs. The 2 lights in there are LEDs. I'm going to do away with the kill switch because I've got a key. Yeah, I've had the backlight apart. New wires on that. These are half mil. They're rated to 11 amps. I'm going to have either 5 or 10 amp fuses in there depending what's what, so the fuses will blow before any wiring melts. But like I said, everything's LED indicators. They should be on big sticky out brackets here, but if I do go green laning and I fall off, which I'm bound to fall off, these stuck up, the number plate comes out there, these should be sort of protected. The front ones are quite tucked in close, they're all LEDs. So I'm just gradually, this has got to come off next. See, look, it's just, get off. It's all crusty and welded into place with the heat on the plastic. There's a massive, great big bunch of wires here. These will be half mil, thin sleeved, or whatever they call it. I've got no block connectors, so I can take this apart, deep in everything in there. And I've worked out, I've actually managed to find a wiring diagram for this bike, because all the wiring diagrams I've got, none of them show got my finger over the lens, sorry. None of them show the gear indicator. This is the only one I've found with a gear indicator light. It comes from down there, A to A. That's all been got rid of. So apparently I've got a GN400 TZ. That this thing was a overspeed sensor relay. Yeah, right. So that's all got rid of. That is about the size of it. So I've worked out that the live feed, this light isn't very good. Hold on, let's see if I can put this on. Yes, the red is from the battery. The red, that's the power in to the ignition switch, and the orange comes out and it feeds the neutral light, so that's going to have its own feed from the fuse box. Feeds the lighting switch, that'll have its own feed from the fuse box. Brake light switch, that'll be joined with a rear brake light switch, which I've lost. Here it is. That's going to come from its own feed from the fuse box. So I've counted up the lives that one wire feeds. So now I can have a brakes in there, light switch in there, home. I've forgotten what I'm doing now. Brakes, home. I've got one left. Neutral light, brakes, neutral light, home, light switch. Oh, I've lost one. No. Indicator relay. Indicator relay is going to sit on that tab. So even I've tried with the airbox on, it misses the snorkel bit. Will miss the relay. It will sit behind here. So that is what we've done. So this is be fun and games next. Desolder every single wire from in here, put new wires on. I'll either put that loom back into the headlamp, which I didn't want to do, or I'll run it under the frame, under the tank with a block connector there, and then everything can feed up to it from there. So that's where we are. Hope you enjoy it. Leave me any comments, like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, whatever takes your fancy. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.